The small handheld breathalyzer device that officers use to test your breath on the side of the road is called a preliminary breath test, or PBT. This device is a completely voluntary test. Under Virginia law, you do not have to take the preliminary breath test. This is different than the evidentiary testing device at the police station. After you're arrested and you're taken to a police station or a hospital, and they ask you to blow into a machine or draw blood, if you've been lawfully arrested with DUI, and then afterwards they ask you to take a breath test or a blood test, that's not voluntary. That's a totally different thing. But on the side of the road, before you're arrested, the small portable breathalyzer device is a PBT, and that is voluntary. Virginia law says you do not have to take that device. Interestingly enough, the same law that says you do not have to take a preliminary breath device also says that you can demand a preliminary breath device if one is available. So you can, and if you get pulled over and an officer starts investigating you for DUI, you can say, I'm done talking to you, I'm done doing your tests, I'm not going to talk to you anymore, give me a PBT right now. I want to do a breath test right now. And if that officer has access to one, he has to offer it to you under Virginia law. So if you're stone cold sober and have absolutely no alcohol in your system and you just want to prove it and get on your way and have this officer stop interrogating you, you can demand a preliminary breath test. But if you've had any alcohol in your system, do not take a preliminary breath test device. The law says that you can arrest and even convict somebody for DUI if they're under the legal limit. So even if you think you're good and you're under the legal limit, don't take the preliminary breath test. The law says that that device is used simply to tell whether there's alcohol in somebody's system. And if it detects alcohol in your system, that can be used to justify the arrest. So just because you think you might blow under the limit doesn't guarantee that you would be released. So if you have any doubts that you might have alcohol in your system, do not take the preliminary breath test. If you know you're stone cold sober and you just want to be have the officer to leave you alone and let you go on your way, and you want to convince him that you're stone cold sober, you can demand a preliminary breath test device. But remember, there's a difference between the preliminary breath test device and the mandatory evidentiary testing device. Okay? Here's the way you tell the difference between the two. The PBT is given to you on the side of the road. The mandatory device is done at the police station. Okay? The PBT, the voluntary device, is small, portable, it's handheld. The evidentiary testing device is a large boxy machine with a big tube that comes out the side and has a keyboard and a printer attached to it. It's not portable. The voluntary device, the PBT, is done before you're arrested for DUI. The evidentiary testing device, the mandatory one, is given to you after you're arrested for DUI. So that's the difference between the mandatory one and the voluntary one. And you'll see very often people agree to take the voluntary one and then refuse to take the mandatory one, and they've shot themselves in both feet.